Hey YouTube, welcome back to another deck profile today. So last week we had of course, the Evil Twin Unchained deck profile going up. Today this is a pure variant, pure live twin. Basically just using the new stuff from Genesis Impact and filling it with lots of hand traps, generic staples. Really cool. It's kind of a decent-ish control deck. It's not anything near sort of Sky Striker, Eldritch, anything like that. It's not meta, but you could take this to a locals, you could have fun with it. It's quite a casual deck. And yeah, like I said, it's a pure variant. I'm just going to jump straight in. It's not very surprising, the list. So, of course, you're going to run 3 copies of Kill and 3 copies of Leela. This is your starter. You see these, you get your combo off. Each one summons out the other if you control none of the monsters, so that will explain the hand trap setup when I show you that. There are some pretty crucial hand traps that we aren't playing, and I will explain the logic behind that. We're also playing 3 copies of Parallel Exceed. This is because you summon a lot of Cyberses, you summon a lot of Links. This triggers, you can summon out Baguska, and using 2 of these, you summon out Baguska. And the Baguska will skill drain your opponent, and then once you have your 2 Links on the field, you don't really use many effect monsters, so your Links obviously can't get put to defense, they aren't affected by Baguska, and you can set up a pretty powerful sort of board presence. 1 copy of Backup Secretary. This is a free extender, and it gets you access to the most powerful combo in the deck, but it's kind of dead if you don't see the twins. You'd rather see the twins, hence why I'm maxing out on entry points into the twins, and also Parallel Exceed does do the same job. Hand trap wise, we're playing 2 copies of Ghost Ogre, 3 copies of Ash, 3 Gammas, and the 1 Driver. And then we also have 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. So the reason we're playing a pretty massive pile of hand traps is because if you yourself get hand trapped, we're playing a total of, I believe it's 11 hand traps. And that's because if you yourself get hit by a hand trap in this deck, your turn will more than likely end. It's quite a fragile combo, especially if you get hit on the Kill or the Leela and you don't have access to an extender. It is quite tragic how hard this deck does die to certain hand traps. It absolutely falls to Nibiru. So in cases like that, you want to have hand traps of your own to kind of fall back on, to use to slow the game back down to a point where you can regain advantage. That's it for the monsters. It's literally just the twins, the extenders to get the twins into the full combo, and then hand traps. So moving on to spells and traps. 3 copies of Live Twin Home. The reason you're playing this is it's basically E-Telly. You discard a card, special summon a Keyskill or a Leela from your deck, but it does lock you into the Evil Twin extra deck monsters. So there is an issue with this deck, that it clashes. It doesn't give you access to the Backup Secretary lines, doesn't give you access to the Parallel Exceed lines, which is a little bit dodgy, but you know, this does do the job when you need it. If you have no other way into your twins, you use this. If your twin gets ashed, you use this. You know, it does have its uses. And because of that, we are playing 3 copies of Secret Password to search it out. Secret Password obviously adds a Live Twin or Evil Twin spell trap from your deck to your hand. And then if you control a Keyskill and a Leela, you can also add an Evil Twin monster from your deck to your hand. We're not playing the level 8. I don't think the level 8 is good enough for this deck. But if you were to make a change, definitely throw one in, let me know how it goes. It's kind of just there to, you know, hit the level 8 exists to try and regain advantage, but it's such a weak form of removal, you'd honestly rather just play evenly if you have access to evenly. Then there would be 3 copies of Signet Mining if I had them, but unfortunately I am poor.
You are poor and I am the master of SALAMANGREAT. Take these signet minings and shoot me out or something. By the way, did I mention I am master of SALAMANGREAT?
Wow, that was weird. 3 copies of Signet Mining. Search out your Backup Secretary, search out your Parallel Exceed, and search out your Live Twins. It's a rotor. It's really good. Play it. Additional consistency boosters, 3 copies of Desires. And then, again, to counteract hand traps, 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talent. This is your draw power, draw 2. All these cards say draw 2, so play them. The 1 Call By, again, to stop hand traps. And 1 copy of Reborn, just to sort of recover plays if you're twin gets gammaed or something, you know, it does come up. It's also just a good extender if you need more link material. And then for the two traps, the two evil twin traps, we're playing the one challenge and the one GG easy. Challenge is good for recovery plays because it's a reborn, and it also lets you immediately link. So you could reborn a key skill, make the key skill link, bring back the leader, pop a card. You know, it does come up. It's pretty good. These are basically just there as extra targets to search off secret passwords. So do what you want with them. And then GG easy is it's technically it's kind of a half negate. It has a pretty steep cost of tributing, and then it's only when an effect is activated that would destroy, which is kind of naff at the moment, but I do believe it does negate Dragoon, so, and because it doesn't destroy, like, the Dragoon can't, like, protect itself from that, it does just negate it. And then it also has an attack boosting effect, which I guess you can use if you're going for lethal, but you're more than likely going to use the negate effect, and you're primarily just running it because it's got a funny name. Extra deck, pretty standard again. 3 copies of key skill, 3 copies of Leela. These are your main combo, I guess. So each twin, again, if you didn't watch the Unchained video, is summoned by using its live twin variant plus any other monster. And then if it is summoned, if you control this card and you don't control the other twin, then you can special summon it from the graveyard. And then when they are summoned by any effect, and you control the other twin, and you control both twins, the one that was summoned will trigger its effect. So key skill will let you draw a card, and Leela will target a card on the field to destroy. So you have this kind of resource game where you're constantly drawing a card and then popping a card, which is pretty good. The only issue is that they are very small. They're both only on 1100, so do bear that in mind. They are very easily walked over in the current format, where Drytron makes sort of big monsters. Eldritch is a huge guy. Virtual World makes VFD, which is a huge guy. Like, this is why the deck's not meta, because it doesn't have the damage output. Other links we're playing the one link Disciple, the one link Devotee. This is your combo with Backup Secretary, where you use these two to basically get a free IP Masquerena using a twin plus Backup Secretary. You play the 3 mining, which is why I only play the 1 Secretary. You also play the 3 Exceed. This combo does also work with Exceed, by the way, because it just requires any level 4 lower Cyburst as well as a twin. So, really, really nice little combo. Might show it off, but there's probably people far more qualified than me to show you guys how the Disciple Devotee combo works. Other generic links, the 1 Masquerena and the 1 Ningirsu, the World Chalice Warrior. This is an out to Dragoon. This is part of the Backup Secretary line, the Exceed line as well. I really, really like Ningirsu. I think this card is incredible. The fact that it basically affects the opponent. Well, it doesn't affect the opponent, but it's send. It's a non-targeting send, which is really, really powerful removal. It outs Dragoon, which is really important in this format. If your opponent calls like light or dark with VFD, you can't use this. But if your opponent has, like, I don't know, some sort of way to stop your twins from progressing. Also, it's really, really easy to make because it's just 2+ link monsters. Your 2 twins are both linked 2, so you can just link those 2 together, use 1 as a 2, 1 as a 1, make a link 3. He's really easy to make, and the removal is really powerful. Nightmares, 1 Unicorn, 1 Griffin. This is all I'm playing. I know people will probably say play Phoenix as well for the back row removal, but you know, I'm happy to rely on Leela as my back row removal. There's a lot more sort of monsters I'd rather deal with in the current format, and Griffin, the fact that Griffin can turn off VFD is enormous, and like, you actually get the Unicorn multi-draw effect in this deck, which is really cool, because you can end on these 2 co-linked. If you open the Parallel Exceed combo, you can end on IP, Twin, Griffin, and it's really, really cool, really powerful. Yeah, the shuffle back's nice, the skill drain's nice, the resetting of a spell or trap is actually really relevant. You know, getting back an imperm, things like that, that's really cool. So I really, really do like Griffin. I feel like this is the deck Griffin was made for. The final link is the 1 Avramax, just because it's another target summon off the IP. And again, pretty sure this thing kills Dragoon. You know, it just hits into it, crash. Pretty solid. To go with the Gamma, we're playing the 1 Omega, because if they Gamma us on... if we have to use Gamma on our turn for any reason, say we get our secret password ashed, we can Gamma. negate the Ash, and then make Omega, and then rip another card from the hand, and they've just gone -1 to basically do nothing. So that's why you play the Omega, and you do have the room for it. And then I'm playing the one Baguska, because Baguska with the Parallel Exceed is a really, really strong combo. The fact that you make these crazy link boards, and then you also have the Baguska, that's just incredible, and I really think it's definitely worth the spot in the deck and worth playing. Side deck is really rudimentary. It's formatted basically around my locals meta, where Invoke Dogmatica is a really problematic deck. So I'm playing 3 copies of Gnome. I just really like this card, this format. I think this card's funny, and I think it's always going to have a place. It's not as good as Ghost Spell. I don't have access to Ghost Spell, but like this thing hits Virtual World, it hits Dinos, because you can stop them making the Dolker, you can stop them making Secure Gardener in Invoked, which is the main reason I'm playing this. It's just, it comes up quite a fair bit, and when it does, it's really satisfying to hit them with a card that they, you know, never expected to see in the format. So that's really cool. 3 copies of Droll. It's Dogmatica Invoked. You know, this hits that. It also hits Drytron, I think. Pank is Destruction. Dark Ruler hits the VFD and the Herald, if they're not using that. So, still a really, really powerful side card to abuse in the current format. 3 Cosmic, because Twin does nothing against Virtual World, so the fact that you can banish, you can get rid of the Chooch, get rid of the Quinglong before they can use the effect. It's really good. And finally, 2 copies of Crackdown, because thematic appropriateness, you know, they're thieves, so steal a monster and use it as zinc material. That's basically about it. It's a really straightforward deck, really simple. Kind of toolboxy, but definitely fun when you get the hang of it. When you know what you're doing, you know, I think this deck's definitely very rewarding, and I would love to see people trying it out. I'd love to see what people can do with it outside of the Eldritch variant, because the Eldritch variant is a bit kind of, you know, done to death. We see Eldritch variants all the time. I want to see something new and interesting with this deck. That's what I'm going to try and bring with you guys. I was actually working on a True Draco variant of the deck, but that fell through. Anything else I figure out, any other cool engines I figure out, I'll share them. But that's about it for a pure list. Check out the Unchained list if you haven't already. Check out the rest of my channel if you haven't already. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.